It is 11:30 in the morning. I am in Budapest and this video is going out to my daughter who came to the Sziget festival, a huge festival attracting like 500,000 people, which is held on an island in the Danube here in Budapest every year. She came last year, she's talking about coming next year, and she tells me she didn't see anything of Budapest. If she comes back, what should she see? Right, this is for you, Hannah, and anybody else attending the Sziget festival who wants to see Budapest, and anybody who comes to Budapest. The first thing you want to do is download an app on your phone, the Budapest Go app. That will give you access to the public transport network, which is quite extensive. Trains, as in metros, buses, trams, really good. And I've started here at the truly magnificent, my favourite word, St. Stephen's Basilica. I think it's going to cost me a little bit of money to do this bit, but that's okay. Let's go and have a look. Well, yeah, that wasn't particularly cheap. 6,000 forints for the whole ticket, which is about 15 euros. So let's go and see if it was worth it. So let's have a look. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, okay. I mean, one thing about charging a decent entrance fee, I suppose, is that it doesn't get filled up with too many people. I mean, there's people in here, but it's kind of quiet. A place like this, you can never capture the size or the atmosphere on a little camera like I've got. But I've now come up to the terrace which surrounds the cupola, the big dome on the top of the thing, which gives me a good view, really good view from here. And over there, right, I'm going to try and get it. Oh, I can't see it, but over there somewhere, there is a balloon. Can you see that balloon? Right, well that is, I think, where we're going next, because that's the city park, I hope. There's people looking at me and nodding. Do you know if that's true? So I'm talking to my man. Now, what is your name?
Daniel.
I'm talking to my man Daniel here, and he's over with his family from Germany. Now, Daniel, you're planning a one-day tour of Budapest here.
Yeah.
And what will be the highlights for you?
So the Dome St. Stefan.
Where we are now?
And maybe we go to the synagogue.
The synagogue.
And the big market hall for food grabbing.
Okay, where's the big market hall? What's that called?
Here you see the bridge.
Right.
Near by the foot of the bridge.
Okay, this bridge.
Yeah.
Is that the Elizabeth Bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I just met that guy Daniel and he gave me some good advice there. Now over the other side there, over the other side of the river, you can see some other stuff. Can you see just a little piece of river there, the Danube River? We're on here now, the Pest side of the river. That over there is the Buda side. We'll go there later. That there is the Parliament building. That is quite a sight. So we'll go and take a look at that as well. Right, I'm going to have a wander around the terrace here, and then we're going to carry on. I have noticed that some people are finding the stairs a bit of a challenge here. They're not that bad. But the water in Budapest is perfectly drinkable. There are like drink stations around, as well as these things that you can stand in and get sprayed with mist, which is a very tempting option right now. That is where we were, at the top of the Basilica there. Now, as you, I hope, can see from what's behind me here, it's a lovely city. Loads of parks, There's a big Ferris wheel up there. But now what we're going to do is go on the metro. Now the line we're going to go on is line number 1. It's the yellow on the map. And I specifically say that because this line is the oldest metro line in continental Europe. The first electrified metro in the world. Originally pulled by horses. It's down there. And when I say it's down there, I mean it's just down there. It runs just below the surface. They used to build them different in those days. They used to open the ground. Down you go. I've never been in this station before, but let's have a look. And we can hear a train. We've just missed one. That doesn't matter, because they're really frequent on this line, because the trains themselves... Oh no, there's one coming. There's one coming. Okay, let's go. Let's get on this train. Here it is. We just got to the next station. I've realised I got on the train going the wrong way. That doesn't matter. We'll jump off and go around to the other way. I just want to show you this station. Look at it. 1 o'clock now, by the way. The station's here. You can hear me over the sides of this. The trains are tiny as well. Look at them. Look at the station. It's like something out of a movie. Everything's immaculate here and really old. You know, real industrial revolution vibe. If you were into steampunk, this would be the place for you. Anyway, I was on the wrong train. I got to go over there onto that side, so that's what I'll do. It's not far. That's how far underground we are. Yeah, it's quite a funny experience actually. I love that little line. Where are we now? I don't know. Well, we've come out in another of these magnificent squares. I've got to get over to the other side. Take a look at this square. It seems a pretty short walk over to the other side. In fact, we were just at that one, and now we're heading down into this one. Okay, so there's that. And we're off again. Right, so I'm now coming out of that station there. I'll put the name of it on the screen. And I've come out in the middle of the city park. I was told you could easily spend a whole day here, which I'm not going to. I'll have a wander around. Lovely looking park. There's a map. There's obviously loads of stuff here. There's a boating lake. Somebody told me the Museum of Fine Art is really good. I think what I'm going to do is go here to this castle, which I can't say. That's how to spell it. I'm going to go there. And here it is, next to the boating lake here. Check it out. That was like a 2-minute walk. So, yeah, I'm making pretty good time, I reckon. What time we got? 1, 2, 3. Not bad. What do I say? These drinks look a bit tempting. I think you can pay to get inside the castle. I won't bother. I'm just going to wander around the outside, which looks really nice. Just going to sit in the shade for a minute and enjoy a drink with my mate. Cheers. It is a really big park. I've had a bit of a wander around. The castle area there was cool. There's loads here. You could spend all day here quite easily. But I'm going to move on because now it is 2:15. I've used the Budapest Go app to tell me that I want the number 70 bus. So, as we exit bus number 70, the time now 2:38. So let's go for a walk, a very short walk to Freedom Square, Liberty Square. Let's take a look. And here we are, Freedom Square. Why have I come here? Well, number one, it's a very lovely square. Number two, to talk about the history of this country. The country kind of started off, if you can put it like that, about 1,000 years ago or something, a bit more. And they did all right for a while by the look of it. They were descendants of the Huns, and they built this big country. They converted it to Christianity. The Mongols didn't do them any favours, but you know. And then things started to go downhill. After about 500 years, the Ottoman Turks kept having a go at them and eventually won. After that, the Habsburg Empire moved in. After that, there was a bit of a truce with the Habsburgs, and hence the Austro-Hungarian Empire. First World War, they picked the wrong side. They went with the Germans. Second World War, wrong side again, Germans. End of the Second World War, and they want to change sides. They try and do a deal with the Allied powers. Germans not having that, so they invaded. Nazi invasion, 1944. End of the Second World War, and they are liberated by the Soviet Union. So Freedom Square is all about Russia. Here's a big monolith to the great Soviet Union. Of course, the Soviet Union's finished now. 91, 92, that was all over. And Hungary really did become free. They got free and fair elections every 4 years, I think it is. So the Russians moved out, and the Americans moved in over there, behind me there. That's the American embassy. That's what all those people are doing. Hence the security. I think they need it lately. Oh, no, they're building here. Looks quite impressive. And when the Soviets moved out, they did a deal with Gorbachev where they said, we'll keep the hideous, ugly Soviet monolith in the middle of our square to denote our freedom. And it's still here, and it's a bit contentious, I think. Over here, you may recognize this person. The big one, not the little one. George W. pointing straight at the war memorial there, as if to say, why is that still there? And over here, a statue of another former president, Ronald Reagan. Where is he? He's over here somewhere. Oh, there he is. He's over there. They've got another statue of Reagan, and he's looking straight at it as well. And Reagan was basically the president who was in power at the end of the Soviet era. You might say he was responsible for the fall of the Soviet Union, as responsible as anybody. And he was famously said he made a speech in Berlin where he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. Here are some scouts. And here's Ronald Reagan.
Are we on the vlog? What up?
You're on the vlog.
Hey vlog.
Where are you from?
Belgium.
Okay. All right. Are you scouts?
Yes, yes.
I was a scout. Best thing that I ever did. Behind Ronald is where we'll go next, the very magnificent Parliament building. We'll have a wander down there. Now this is, there's no doubt about it, one of the great buildings of Europe. It's huge, it's ornate, it's tasteful actually. And we'll go and have a look at that in a minute. After we have a look at this, which is a cup of coffee. Got my coffee. The time now, 3:07. Been a lovely day. We've done a fair bit. We've got a bit more to do. Next, what we'll do is have a wander along the riverfront. Took my time over my coffee. Why not? It's 4:02. But I'm feeling good. Look at this. Look. Look at that. And look at the people here in the steam, the cold steam coming out of the ground. I might have a bit of a walk through there as well. Yeah, what a building. I mean, my life. Oh, no, it stopped. The steam stopped. Not to be. Oh well. Anyway, you can't really get a sense of it up close. This. You're too close to it. You can't really get it. The size, the symmetry. So we'll go further away from it. Anyway, we'll kind of loop around a bit and come back to it, because we've come to the River Danube, one of the great waterways of the world. There it is. You can see a fair bit from here. You can see over to the Buda side of the river, and you can see the chain bridge. I don't know if you can see that up there. Behind me, the Parliament building, a symbol of freedom and democracy. A short walk along the river bank, and we come to this small memorial to something that was quite the opposite. These are called the shoes on the Danube, and these are the shoes of Jewish people who were killed in the genocide, in the Holocaust, which occurred here in Hungary and in Budapest. The shoes were taken from them because they were valuable, and the Jews were cast into the icy waters of the Danube. I had a bit of a speech planned for this, but I can't make it. Well, that was 1944, this is 2024. I've walked further up the river, past the big river cruise ships, and come up to the big chain bridge, the original bridge that crossed the river, the first bridge built across the river here in Budapest. What we're going to do, we're going to walk to the middle of the bridge and then come back again. We will go over to the other side later, but for now we'll stick to this side. So I've walked to the middle of the bridge. Real great view from here. You can see the Buda side and the Pest side. Before the bridge, built in 1849, there was no Budapest really. There was two cities, Buda and Pest. The bridge didn't last forever. When the Nazis knew the Soviets were coming to get them, They blew all the bridges up, but anyway, they've rebuilt it, and it's worth a walk. So, walking away from the river there, it is 10 to 5, and I'm just going to walk through now the streets of Budapest, go for a bit of a wander. Not to see anything specific, but just because the streets are so cool, you should have a wander around the streets while you're here, just because you can. We're heading for the Danube Street Synagogue, I think it's called, or anyway, I think people just call it the Great Synagogue. It is, I've just looked it up on Wikipedia, the largest synagogue in Europe. So let's go and have a look at that. I mean, what I've ended up doing is doing a bit of a figure of 8 with this tour, because I'm basically back quite close to the Basilica now. But that's okay, the practicalities of it have worked out really well. It's been a good route actually. Yeah, I've been walking for a quarter of an hour or so. It's about 5:10 now, and I've arrived at the synagogue. Well, that's annoying. There's a special thing on, and they shut the doors at 5. They stopped selling tickets at 5, so I just missed out there. Oh well. We'll carry on to the next thing, and the next thing is the pub. They've got a bit of a tradition in this town, it would seem. They turn everything into a bar eventually, and there's these things called ruin bars, which are bars in a ruin. Anyway, the most famous one is called Szimpla Kert, and it's just up the road. Right, I think we've arrived. I wouldn't call it a ruin, but in we go. Hi. Let's go up there. Now my daughter, who I'm making this video for, will be fully aware that I don't actually drink, but I'm fully aware that she does. Hello. So I'm suffering for my art once again. This is cool. Hey. Writing on the walls is fine. It's a bathroom, I think. Oh, it's quite big, isn't it? I wonder what it was before. I know this is the Jewish quarter. What went on here? Little wonderland. I will stop for a drink soon, because I'm splitting feathers. Hey. This was all very bohemian once upon a time. Seems a bit more touristy now. It's cool though, you know, it's funny, it's really funny. Right. Okay, well, I'll wander over here and get myself something, a lemonade or something. Yeah, what have we got? So from the slightly weird atmosphere of the Szimpla Kert ruin bar, apparently there's loads of these ruin bars. This is just the most famous one. So knock yourself out. Most of them are in the Jewish quarter apparently, but there's others, I'm told. So from here, we'll head off to the other side of the river. I've just left the bar there. The time now, 7 minutes past 6. I'm going to jump on bus number 5, which I can see, it's just there. The transport network here is, I don't think I've ever been anywhere better. It is about 6:17 now, and we've crossed the river to the Buda side, and it is much quieter here. There's more history on this side. It goes back a lot further. Now look at this, Hannah. Look at this. Do I take you to some cool spots or what? Look at it. Oh, you don't deserve me. And on a day like today, when the temperature did get up to about 37, it's cooled down a little bit now. I feel like jumping straight in there. This is the Verkut Bazaar area. I totally butchered that, I'm sure. Didn't know what to expect. I thought there'd be loads of shops. There's not. It's a castle. Wandering around this gorgeous city, as we've done today, it's sort of taken me back. When I was young, I used to travel around Europe. Lived in the UK and went France, Spain, Greece, Portugal, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, blah blah blah. You see, that's Western Europe, because that was the days of the Iron Curtain, when countries like Hungary and Poland, East Germany, they were off limits. Going there was just too difficult. People just didn't, really. Now that's changed, and the funny thing is, I've come to Europe now, after all these years, from the opposite direction. I've come from an easterly direction. I've come from New Zealand. And here I am in Eastern Europe. And I've forgotten how lovely it is. How beautiful it is. I mean, Budapest gets called the Paris of the East. I might be doing it a disservice. Paris might be the Budapest of the West. Yeah. It's good to be back. So I've been walking up the hill past these massive, massive walls. Really impressive. There's a door. So I'm going to go through the door. See what's in here. What is in here? There's a lift. Where are we going to go? Don't know. Up we go. Oh, gone a long way. Oh. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Oh, okay. There's some stairs over there. I'm going to go up those stairs. So at the top of the stairs, which are behind me, come across this. Wow. Look at it. Look at this courtyard. Is this Buda Palace? I think it must be. Castle, rather. I don't know. Anyway, I'll tell you something. Look at it. Didn't expect this. So leaving that courtyard there behind me and admiring the Hungarian Trevi fountain on the way past, I'm going to head that way because I know that up there is Fisherman's Bastion, and that's where I want to head next. A lot of reconstruction work has gone on here, and a lot of it is still going on. It's good. It's, great to see these old buildings restored to their original condition. I'm at the top of Castle Hill now, and behind me there is the very lovely Church of Our Lady of Buda Castle, I think. Anyway, cool roof. And down beside the church there is what's known as Fisherman's Bastion. We'll go and take a look at that. I wish I had a better camera because you can really see where we've been, the Basilica there. You can even see the little hot air balloon. Down here's the Parliament building. Walked along the front there to the chain bridge. And up over there's the Jewish quarter. It's been a great walk. But anyway, that's that, and it's not over yet because I want to walk a little bit further. I want to walk back down to the river. Apparently this over here, how true it is I don't know, but this over here apparently inspired Walt Disney for his logo. You decide. Stars. Donald Duck. So I walk down to the bottom of the hill now. It is 7:34, which means one thing. Time for more coffee. And here is the perfect little place. Let's sit at this table. That was my last cup of coffee of the day, probably. And we're coming now to the end of the tour. What time is it? Coming up to 8 o'clock. Been quite a long day, I suppose, but it doesn't feel it. Been really interesting.
Sorry, you can't pay.
I put it on the table.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
sorry,
so money's under the cup.
Oh, sorry, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, honestly, I did pay. It's been a long day, but it doesn't feel it. And now ahead of me there, my final destination, the river. There we are. It's been a longish day, I suppose. It's 8:05, so 8.5 hours. Didn't feel long. Felt great. Really good tour today. Really enjoyed it. I was going to wait until it got dark because they light it up at night, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get over the other side and get something to eat. Well, it's 9 o'clock now, and I've just wasted a whole hour just sitting by the river here, just because I wanted to. There's the view that adorns the window of a million travel agents. Hope you've enjoyed the little tour. Hope you do it yourself one day, Hannah.